see the step-by-step plan you need to hit your goals this year? All right. Awesome. Cool. Okay. All right, guys. So like I said, anything is replicatable if you have found, the right cause and effect, right? Like I mentioned, you throw a ball in the air, it's going to come down. You do the same thing as the next person under the same conditions, you're going to get the same results. So the question is, what are the things that you need to be doing in commercial brokerage in order for you to get the right result, right? So again, I see Bobby. Thank you for letting me know that you see this step by step, or you see the presentation. So here we go, right, guys? The most important activities you could be doing in any brokerage business. Okay, very, very simple. This business is simple. It's not easy. Let me say that again. It's simple. It's not easy. And what I mean by that is it's very simple. Like if you were to lay it out in a step-by-step process, it's pretty simple. But to do it and to do it on a daily basis and to do it regularly with a high level of discipline, that's the difficult part. Okay. So as much as possible, what you need to be doing, right, is prospecting, presenting, and following up. Okay. The more you can do of those 3 activities in your day, the more money you're going to make, period. End of story. Okay. So how do we go about setting forth a step-by-step plan to do that? That's the interesting part, right? That's the what. I'm going to give you the how. Okay. So let's look at it, guys, right? First of all, you need to break it down. You need to figure out how you're going to structure your day so that you can be doing more prospecting, presenting, and following up than anything else. Okay. Because what will happen is, when you start offloading some of those activities that aren't really that necessary, when you stop having those water cooler conversations with folks, when you stop wasting your time working with buyers that are never going to go anywhere, when you stop wasting your time with people that want to lease, but you haven't qualified them right, and you show them around. Next thing you know, they stop picking up your calls. When you stop doing those things and start prospecting, presenting, and following up as much as possible, then you'll start notice your business is going to turn over like crazy, right? It's weird. You hit what's called a tipping point, and next thing you know, you are really, really making strides. Okay. So what we need to do here, okay? Not everybody can afford an admin. I get that. Okay. But okay, I'm willing to bet there are some things that you could delegate that aren't worth your while. Here's what I mean. Okay. If you're to figure out like how much money you want to make next year, right? Let's say you want to make $200,000, right? On average, your people work, let's say 40 hours a week, 50 weeks of the year. You're going to get 2,000 work hours. You take 200,000 divided by 2,000, and you're going to get 100. What does that 100 represent? $100 per hour, right? If it was 300, it would be $150 an hour. If it was 400, it would be $200 an hour. You see how I did the math, right? Very simple. But here's the point. What you need to understand, and why prospecting, presenting, and following up is so important, is if you are doing $10 an hour work, let's say you want to make 200,000, you know that you have to be averaging $100 an hour work. Okay. Now here's the problem. If you take time to create a flyer and take that flyer and maybe upload a property to MLS and do all these other things, those are all things that an admin can be doing, right? An admin that can be making $13, $15, $16 an hour, right? So what's happening is, if you are not hiring an admin, you are becoming your own admin. You are your own admin, right? You see me? So as much as you possibly can, do 2 things. Utilize your office staff as much as possible. You might not have a private admin, but you maybe have a transaction coordinator. You might have a marketing assistant. As much as you possibly can, push those projects off to them. Okay. If you can, if you don't have the money to hire someone domestically, because people in the US make more money, utilize platforms such as Upwork, right? A ton of freelancers out there that'd be more than happy. They speak really good English. Over in the Philippines or other parts of the world, Philippines especially, you can get someone for $6 or $7 an hour. You set $50 a week aside, $200 a month. And frankly, that's probably what a lot of people spend on Starbucks, right? You set that aside. Okay. You make your coffee at home, and with that coffee money, you take it and you set it towards your business, investing in your business. And what you'll find is, if you can offload 5 to 7 hours a week, what's going to happen is you're going to get almost a full day of work back in your work week, just by delegating some, 7 hours to somebody. That's $6 an hour. That's $42 it costs you for the week. Guess what? That's 6 to 7 hours a week that you're getting back in your schedule, nearly a full day. Okay. So what you want to do is realize what you have to delegate. So what does that look like? Draw a flow chart of your business. For my business and my business model, it involves researching properties, calling the properties, getting appointments, getting putting together packages, getting listing presentations, or making listing presentations, getting listings, putting those listings online, advertising the listings, negotiating listings, closing them, and collecting, right? There's about 10 items, right? The more of those things that you can delegate to somebody off, like the research, like the listing things on MLS, like the creating a flyer, like the blasting out sort of thing, a lot of the marketing duties you could kind of offload. The more of those things you can offload, the more high value work you're going to be able to do, and the more prospecting, presenting, and following up, guys. Very, very simple. Like I said, this business is simple. It's just not easy. Okay. So next one. So what I'd like you to do is create a flow chart, write down every item in your business, and then figure out what you can be delegating to someone else, and then go ahead and delegate that to somebody else. Okay. Here's what you're going to need. Like I mentioned, you're going to you need to utilize your office admins, right? If you have somebody, let's say you work for a big brokerage and you have a marketing assistant, you have a transaction coordinator, you have some sort of admin help, something, right? I would highly recommend utilizing them. If not, using someone like from Upwork or Fiverr or some sort of freelancer that will help you achieve your goals. Next up, okay, time blocking. Okay, once you have maximized the duties, right, then you need to figure out and be very, very disciplined with your duties so that you can block out all your distractions. Okay, here's what I mean. Okay, from 8 o'clock until 10 or 10:30 in the morning is what I call the calm before the storm. Okay, what it is, most brokers, they roll into the office 9:30, 10 o'clock. They read the paper. Oh, they sip their coffee. They're just getting the bed out of their eyes, you know. Meanwhile, you are going to be hitting the office at 8 a.m., fired up, ready to make your dials, because that is, bar none, the most important hour to hour and a half of your day. Whenever you start your dials to when you end. If you want to make more money, make more dials, period. If your wife wants a new car, make more dials. If your kid wants to go to a better school, make more dials. You always wanted that Porsche, make more dials. You want a bigger house, whatever it is, I promise you, this right here, this is your ATM right here. All you have to do is put it to your ear, dial 10 digits, and call people, okay? I promise you, that is your path to success in this business. Nothing else, not networking, not going out and handing out business cards, not showing up at a golf tournament, none of that. Pick up the phone and start dialing. I promise you, if you've ever seen The Wolf of Wall Street, he has a whole speech on that. I promise you, that is the path to riches in brokerage as well. Okay, guys, so time blocking, block out that 8 to 10 so that nothing else is in your calendar. Nothing is more important than you are prospecting. After 10, from 10 to 12, you need to be getting ready for the meetings that you set for that day. You hopefully made 40, 50, 60 dials. You got a handful of connections, had some conversations, and set a couple meetings for the afternoon. You will then be researching those people, checking out the properties, and then getting ready for your afternoon, okay? What you want to do, guys, you want to use your calendar as your guide, not your inbox, okay? What do I mean by that? The people that are using their inbox as their guide, they're being reactive, right? They are letting the day happen to them. If you are going out and you are setting your schedule over what's most important, prioritized properly, then guess what happens, right? Your calendar is your guide and you control your day instead of your day controlling you. Anybody with me on that one? So do me a favor and type calendar, right, in the comments. Let me know that you're there, guys. Interact, because the more that you interact, the more you're going to remember. The more it's neuropsychology, right? Like the more we utilize our multiple senses when taking in information, the more you're going to have a tendency to remember it. So please, by all means, hit the like button, type in the comments, ask questions, because you will benefit by being able to remember more of what we discussed today, right, guys? So again, if you're with me, if you want to make the change and use your calendar as your guide and not your inbox, because if you're in your inbox, you are on somebody else's time. Those emails are there for your convenience, not for somebody else's convenience. Your phone is there for your convenience, not somebody else's convenience. If you have something more important to be doing than picking up a phone call, in fact, I got 2 phone calls since I've been on here, right? No, what's most important is what's right in front of me right now, okay? So you have to learn how to delegate those times and push certain tasks aside. Not everything is an emergency. In fact, I'll go as far as saying there are no emergencies in real estate. There's no life or death. There's no burning buildings, right? Very, very, very few instances like that. So what you need to do is prioritize your time and stick to that. The more you control your time, the more you control your schedule, the more you control your income. Guys with me so far? Okay, cool. Now, the next thing I want to tell you guys about is what's called the Pomodoro Method, right? You can YouTube it, check it out, right? And the cool thing about it is in the amount of time it takes to make spaghetti Pomodoro, it's like about 25 minutes from beginning to end, to boiling the water, putting the pasta in, getting the sauce ready, yada, yada, yada. So what they say is you should take a kitchen timer, good old fashioned kitchen timer, or use the one that comes on your smartphone, right? And what you want to do is set it for 25 minutes. Give yourself a 5-minute break and then go about your next task. What it does is what they've found is you will be way, way, way more efficient by hyper focusing for 25 minutes, taking a 5-minute break, hyper focusing on another task instead of just kind of slowly moving through things, pick up a phone call, send an email, do this, do that. You won't get nearly the amount of work done by doing that. Okay, so check that out. Yes. I see Brian's coming in from Queens. Brian, how are you? Nice to see you. Evan, how are you, my man? I see he's on here. Rolf as well. Welcome, folks. Welcome. It's good to see you guys. I see Layla, one of my students, is on here. Bobby's here. Awesome, guys. Thanks for coming by and checking it out, right? So Pomodoro Method, you can do 2 of those an hour. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. You will crush whatever projects you are working on if you do that. Here's another one that I just started doing recently. Pick your top 6 items for the day, right? The night before, okay? And then when you get to the office in the morning, you come there, you see what they are. And then in between your schedule, if you have blocks, put those in and schedule them into your day. The more you schedule into your day, you say, ooh, I know from 1 to 1:30, I need to, whatever, research 123 Main Street, whatever it might be, create a new XYZ, whatever that might be. Whatever, or maybe you need to research more properties, whatever you are doing, if you schedule it into your day, you'll be a lot more effective and get a lot more done in your day. Okay. Now, like I said, you control your day, you control your income. And think of it this way, folks. Would you rather have a tiger by the tail and it's pulling you all around, right? Or would you rather have that same tiger on a leash and he is following you instead of you following him? You with me? Okay. Cool. So I think you get the idea. So that's the mindset you want to be in. You want to be the master of your day, not somebody else, right? Now let's talk about the importance of prospecting, because I think people are like, they know they're supposed to do it, but let me tell you why, like specifically, okay? Sales funnel is the top of the funnel, right? Prospecting, it represents what goes into the top of the funnel. If you put 100 items in the top and 6 comes out the bottom, guess what? If you put 200 in the top, 12 is going to come out the bottom. So it's very, very simple. Whatever you put in the top, all things being equal, you're going to get the same percentage out. So the way to get more out the bottom, which usually to us means dollar bills, right? Put more in the top. Okay. So how much you put in the top directly determines how much comes out of the bottom. And the more you prospect, the more you earn. That's simple, right? More you prospect, more you earn. Very, very simple. Okay. So this is your way also, guys, of constantly feeding your business, a new business, right? Think of it this way, guys. How many of you raise your hands? You hit the like button if you ate today. Okay. All right. Do me a favor. Like hit me some likes if you ate today. You put something in your mouth and swallowed it, right? Okay. All right. Good. Okay. I see. Okay. Why? I don't understand. You did it yesterday. You did it last week. You did it the week before, right? But why'd you eat today? You ate today because your body needed nourishment. Why? Because your body needs nourishment to run. Your body needs nourishment to grow and to survive and to thrive. Your business is no different than your body. You have to constantly feed it new prospecting, new appointments, new opportunities in the top of the sales funnel so that it continues to survive and thrive and grow. Why do you think babies eat so often, right? Their body is growing like crazy and their cells are reproducing like crazy. They're eating like every few hours, right? Your business is no different, especially when it's a young business. It needs as much food in the top, in the top of the funnel to survive, okay? And frankly, guys, if you think about it philosophically, as commercial real estate brokers and agents, right? We are not the decision makers. We bring the horse to water and we hope it drinks, right? Now, mind you, we're going to bring the horse to a qualified horse to water that we know it likes to drink, and then we're going to hope it drinks. So we're going to do as much as we can to increase the probability, but we cannot control whether they say yes or say no, whether they walk away or stay, whether the deal closes or not. So the only thing that we can do for our own sanity in this business is to control your input, because you do not have a way of controlling your output. Does that make sense to anybody? Do me a favor and type input in the comments just to let me know that you guys are with me, like you are wanting to control your input. Like if you guys want to have control of your business, the way to do it is via input. So type in input in the comments. I promise you these comments, they will stick with you a lot longer, right? So mind yourself. You always want to control the input, and it keeps you sane, because the difference between, and I'll explain to you in a second, right? The difference between your input and the dollar output can be not months, years, guys, years. Okay. I have a building that I have, and it's supposed to be closing like sometime next month. Okay. What is this? Can anybody tell me the date? March 2022, right? I prospected this building, okay, in late 2018. I got the listing, okay, in February of 19. So when I tell you that, it takes a long time sometimes to close these deals. No one saw COVID coming. And then also with higher ticket buildings, it's tougher to find buyers. It's a smaller, so this is like a $5 million building. So but the point is, it's been 3+ years since I picked up the phone and called that person for the first time. So the point is, if you're sitting around waiting to get motivation from the deals that you closed, from the dials you made, you're going to be waiting a long time, right? So the point being, you really, really need to control your input, and then know that confident that if you're doing the right input and following the right game plan, that you're going to have the right outcome, right? But if you're waiting for motivation, like residential agents, they can call somebody up, get a listing a week later, and close it 30 to 45 days later. That happens, right? That happens pretty often, especially in today's market. So like from dial to close is less than 60 days for a lot of folks, right? So that's like incentive to be like, yeah, like that's momentum. Commercial, we just don't have that. Now, mind you, our deals tend to be a lot larger, right? Nationwide average, $355,000 for homes. Nationwide average, $1.6 million for commercial sales, right? So one's about almost 5 times larger than the other on average, right? These are just average numbers. But the point being, guys, if you're waiting to feel the motivation because you made some dials, and then you feel the motivation because you closed something, you're going to be waiting a long time. So you have to pay attention to your inputs, write them down. How many dials, how many connects, how many meetings, right? And then how many listings ultimately. Those are the 4 numbers you need to track. Okay. Now let's talk about the best time of day to call. Now, this is not me. This is not anecdotal, right? This is from Phone Burner, and they are a robo dialer, right? Not a robo dialer, but they're like an automatic dialer. And what you do is you put in a spreadsheet of people, and it'll call number after number after number for you. So these guys, they process millions and millions of calls every year, and they know when a call goes through, goes to voicemail, or someone picks up, right? So these are legit statistics for the best time of day to call, right? Now, what do you see here, folks? You see here that it peaks out at about 10 a.m., right? And then after that, everything's a little bit lower. So it raises from 8 to 9 to 10, right? And then it drops down there for the rest of the day. Now, here's something I'd like to point out, guys. Can anyone tell me, right, by show of hands, if you're calling somebody and there's a gatekeeper there, okay? What, a gatekeeper, secretary, right? What time do you think the average gatekeeper gets in the office? Do me a favor, put it in the comments. Put through a few people, do me a favor and show that in the comments, right? Because I'd like to prove a point here, right? If you're looking to get through to more bosses, CEOs, owners, building owners, investors, what have you, right? You need to get them early in the morning. Brian, good guess, but you're off by an hour, okay? Most people, most employees work 9 to 5 on average. So if you start in the hour before 9 o'clock, and then you go on the hour after 5 o'clock, you have a much better chance of getting through. Now, mind you, this chart shows pickups, okay? This doesn't show getting through to the person that you called for, right? So this just shows you when someone's going to pick up, okay? It's helpful to know you have your best possible chance all day long of getting the phone picked up at 10 a.m., 9 and 10, from like between 9 and 11. But oftentimes the actual person that runs the business, it might be tied up in their daily routine, and they're in the middle of meetings and they're meeting with employees, but in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day are absolutely the best. But at the end of the day, oftentimes we're running from here to here, going to meetings, we're going to meeting family, whatever. You might not always have that time at the end of the day, but we always have that calm before the storm. We always have that 9 a.m., that 8 to 9 a.m. where it's the phone's not ringing, other agents aren't bothering you about your listings, people aren't calling, clients aren't calling. You with me, right? So it's so important to get it in, get it out of the way. If any of you have ever exercised and you have a morning routine where you go out and you work out before the day gets started, I think you'll find that, I know for myself, the most consistent I've ever been with exercise is when I do it before the day gets started. Because at the end of the day, there's no telling what the end of the day is going to bring. You're tired, you're this, you're that, you got meetings, you got family obligations and so forth. But before, when in the very, very beginning of the day is the absolute best time, and prospecting is no different. And you get it out of the way, you get it done with, and you check that box. You check that box to put yourself in the best possible position to grow your business that day, right? Because all we want to do, guys, is move the ball forward. If you continually move that ball forward, you're going to see change. The Grand Canyon didn't come from the water rushing through there. It came from the consistent movement of water over the rocks. And that's what created the Grand Canyon. All right, guys. So again, my recommendation, best time of day from 8 to 10 a.m., 8 to 10:30, something like that. Okay, again, consistency, right? The ability to replicate a process or activity with the same level of quality over and over and over again. I recommend, right, doing the things over and over again that you know best to do. I recommend getting up the same day every morning, having the same breakfast every day. Whatever your morning routine is, it's very, very important, right? And because consistency is key, because the more consistent you are, the more you'll be able to deliver similar results, okay? Because deals, frankly, they're going to fall through, right? Like, and now I can tell you what, guys, give me a show of hands. How many of you have ever done a pretty good amount of prospecting, right? And then you get a bunch of deals, you get a bunch of things going, and then you have to start taking care of those deals. And your prospecting goes out the window, right? Do me a favor, guys, and type window, right? If your prospecting has ever gone out the window because you had too many deals to work on and you had to take care of those deals to make sure they closed, which you don't have any control over, and you stop prospecting. So type in window in the chat for me if that has ever happened to you, because I'm equally guilty, right? We are all guilty, guys. If you ever said, I got so much going, I can't afford to prospect. No, you can't afford not to prospect, because the real issue, guys, is you got to stuff it in additional opportunities in the top of the funnel. Think of it like a basketball team, guys. If they're not dunking the ball and that ball's not going down into that net, they are not scoring. The team is not going to be successful very long. They're not going to get to the NBA finals if the ball isn't going in the funnel, or ball isn't going in the hoop. We're not going to get to where we want to, where our goals are, if we're not constantly putting business and opportunities in the top of the funnel, right? So for that reason, guys, I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. We need to prospect first thing in the morning before the day gets going. Before the calm before the storm, guys. I promise you, I'm sure you've all felt it, where you're sitting at the office and next thing you know, the day just starts going nuts at about 10:30, right? But before that, take advantage of it, right? So there's a natural quietness before that 10 a.m. That is your new business time. Remember, guys, the long sales cycle we have, you have to be super hyper concerned every day with your daily goal. That is nothing more important than your daily goal. And I'll tell you why. Because if you hit your daily goal every single day, your weekly goal is going to take care of itself. Your monthly goal is going to take care of itself, and your annual goal is going to take care of itself. Does that make sense, guys? Do me a favor, give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. If you just work on your daily goal and just hit that every single day, because perfect years are made up of perfect months. Perfect months are made up of perfect weeks, and perfect weeks are made up of perfect days. So all you do is just worry about your perfect day, getting a perfect day going, right? Just for today. And then tomorrow, worry about tomorrow, right? It makes it so much easier, and it makes it a lot more bite-sized. Like the old saying goes, what's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? One day at a time. You look at something like holistically, you're saying, how am I ever going to do that? That's it. Just one day at a time. one bite at a time. Okay, guys. So, and then use prospecting as your compass, right? The cool thing about prospecting is once you understand what your conversions are, how many dials you need to make to get a hold of somebody, how many people you need to speak to get a meeting, how many meetings you have to go on to get a listing, and how many listings you have to take to sell, then you can start predicting your income. Then you can take what you made throughout the year, divided by the amount of dials, and you'll know how much it costs you or how much money you make every time you pick it up. Last time I did that statistic, I think it was like $33 per phone call, right? So imagine that. I got paid $33 to dial 10 digits. Whether they picked up or didn't pick up, it didn't matter because I took the average of all the dials that I made, right? So that's $3 a number, okay? If you want to take it a step further, okay? So the point is, guys, when you get to a certain level of predictability in your business, the business becomes a lot more fun. And you just say, you know what? So what if I didn't get appointments today? I'll get them tomorrow because if I put in enough input, the output's going to come, right? And that's what I mean by using prospecting as your compass. You keep putting in the right inputs, you know that the outputs are going to come, and that's what'll keep you sane and keep you from the ups and downs that are kind of inevitable with a business where the input is pretty detached from the output, right? Okay, now guys. People like to do different things, right? Some people like to network. Some people like to bang on doors. Some people like to send postcards. Some people like to send letters. All those things will work to a certain degree. My personal preference and my personal experience and all the brokers that I know that make the most amount of money are really good on the phone. It's just that simple. Why? It's efficient. It's effective, right? It's a highly leveraged use of your time. Think of it this way. For any of you that have ever door knocked, in fact, hang on one second. I've been meaning to show you guys this. Can anybody see what this looks like? It's like shoebox thing, right? These are from my door knocking days, right? Thousands of doors, thousands of cards cataloged, right? This whole thing is full, right? The point is, I have done it. I've done the research. This is not anecdotal. This is not me guessing. This is not something I read in a book. This is me putting a suit on in Miami in 90 degrees in July and knocking on doors, collecting all these silly cards, right? Hundreds and hundreds, actually more than a couple thousand here, right? So the point being, guys, right? I've tried it all right? And I'm trying to save you some time. And what I will tell you is the most highly leveraged use of your time is going to come from reaching out to people over the phone, okay? You don't have to be present. They don't have to be present. Most people, if you get a good service, you can get their cell phone numbers, okay? And most importantly, right, there's a cumulative effect. You might not reach them, but guess what? You're going to leave some very kind, polite voice messages, helpful, okay? And then over time, those messages add up. They hear your voice once a week, twice a week, and 6-8 times a month. Guess what? They're going to start noticing you, right? And we have a whole protocol that we help people when doing their prospecting. But the point is, guys, this is from door knocking. I promise you, I've done it, and I made way more money when I started learning how to use the phone and saying the right things to the right people at the right time. Okay. Also, with using the phone, you can drop messages. I don't recommend it only in certain situations, but you can do it to speed you up. And what it'll do is if you're ready to add some rocket fuel to your business, you're going to want to add a dialer, right? Once you can start dialing people with speed, the only thing that's going to help you do, it's going to help you cover more ground, make more contacts, get more listings, make more money. It's literally that simple. Okay. So final thoughts, guys. Remember, guys, the 3-step process, right? You want to prospect, you want to present, and you want to follow up as much as possible. You want to figure out what it takes in order to do those things as much as possible. You need to delegate offload as many duties as possible. And then you need to discipline yourself to utilize the time that you have to be doing the prospecting, presenting, and following up as much as possible. Okay. So just do it. No one's going to force you to. No one's going to hold your feet to the fire but you. So you have to want it. Okay. You can warm up dials with email, letters, and postcards if you want to, like in case you don't like the idea of cold calling. And it's a good mental edge, right? If you can get a hold of someone's address or their email address, send them a postcard, send them an email. And then when you're calling, in your mind, you're calling Mr. Smith to follow up with them and say, hey, Mr. Smith, this is Charlie Daniels from XYZ Realty. I just wanted to see if you got that postcard I sent you last week. No, I didn't. Oh, well, actually, I was calling you about there's your entrance, right? So, and remember, guys, this phone, I'm equally guilty, right? This phone has on a Monday morning felt like 1,000 pounds, So this is really, really important, guys. Your first call is the hardest, okay? So make sure, you guys, that you just make the first one. And if you want to throw the phone out, that's fine, but just make the first dial. What you'll find is by dial 5, 6, you're kind of getting warmed up, and by 10 dials, you're like, woo, let's do this. Let's make some money, right? Okay, so like I said, first call is the hardest. Get yourself a dialer if you really want to take it to the next level, and get good at it, because honestly, folks, it becomes easier. Just like anything else, the better you get at it, the more effortless it becomes, the better your results get. And guess what? You wind up liking it because you're good at it and makes you want to do it more. And then it just starts spiraling and spiraling and spiraling until you're making more money than you could have imagined just a few short years before, right? When I started doing this, right, I tripled my business in 24 months by doing the things that I'm telling you to do right here. I tripled it in 24 months, getting rid of leases, getting rid of buyers, focusing only on working with sellers, getting in every day, dialing every day, all these things I'm telling you to do. This is all stuff that I've done. This isn't guesswork. This isn't something I read in a book. This is what I'm telling you grew my business, tripled my business in a very short period of time, and it can do the same for yours, okay? And frankly, prospecting is the highest money producing activity, hands down, nothing more. No networking, no postcards, no door knocking, no nothing can hold a candle to phone prospecting. Okay, guys. So who here wants to crush your goals this year, right? Who wants to do it? Because if you are down, you want to do it, you want to learn the ways to do it. Like I said in the beginning, guys, copycat principle. If one person did it, so can you, okay? All you have to do is find out what they did to make it work, and then you do the same, okay? So if you guys are wanting to learn how to do this stuff, we have a 6-month training program. We will take you step by step, by the hand, through the process. We will show you who you need to reach out to, what you need to say. We coach you on how to say it. Once we get you ready for that, we help you we research the right people. We show you where to go. We show you what software to use. We show you how to go through the process. And then we get you dialing. We look at your numbers. We see what needs to be tweaked. We tweak it for you. And next thing you know, you're taking listings. We just did a 30-day challenge in the course back in February. And one of my students, 26 years old, got 3 exclusive listings during the 4-week challenge. Another one of my students, he's signing his 2nd listing. I think he was supposed to get it back today. Signed another one last week as a result of the challenge, right? So these are folks that have taken very little or no commercial listings, and in a very short period of time, in a 4-week period, put themselves in a position to take exclusive listings and take multiple exclusive listings. Okay, guys, so if that is something you'd like to do, give me a thumbs up, let me know. And if you want to learn more about how we do this step by step, type in #training. If you want to take this seemingly kind of unsure process, you want us to break it down for you step by step by step, we can do that, because once you do it one time, you can do it over and over and over again. It's a replicatable process. It doesn't matter whether you're in Arizona or in New Jersey or Florida or California or Texas or whatever. We've helped students all across the country do exactly this. Okay, guys? And I would love to help you guys, because it's my passion project. I want to help people. I want to show them that with a very specific game plan and with a very specific guide, you can cover amazing amounts of ground in a very short period of time. It will blow your mind. So if you're interested, type in #training. Love to get in touch with you guys and see how we can help you, see if what we do might be able to help what you're looking to do in your business. So let me know if there's any way I can help you. And thanks you guys for showing up today. And by the way, what I would recommend is, hopefully you got some cool ideas, okay? Just take one. Take one idea and don't implement it next week. Don't implement it next month. Implement it tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. when you get to the office. We'll take one idea from today, because if you did that every week that I'm here, and I'm dropping new knowledge every week, okay, you would have 52 new pieces of knowledge in your business, right? And all you have to do, guys, if you want to double your business in the next year, Get 2% better a week, guys. Take one little nugget that I just gave you, get 2% better and over the next week, and you're going to double your business, right? Last time I checked, 2 times 50, that's 100%, right? You want to get 100% better. You want to double your business. That's how you do it. Stick with me. I'm going to show you how. But if you really want to get further, right, we can work with you and work with you in an exclusive fashion where we can help you over a 6-month period. And what might take you a couple of years, we can get you in a 6-month period. All right. So let me know, #training, if that's of interest to you. If you want to absolutely knock your business out of the park this year, look forward to seeing you guys next week, guys. Hope all's well. Implement that tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye-bye.